Welcome to our Amazfit 5 quick unboxing and setup. We've done a much longer one with a full review already, and we'll have a link in the top right hand corner for that you can see right now, but this is going to be our fast 10-minute setup. Take note that these instructions are the same for the Band 5 and the MiBand 5, and that's because they're made by the same company and they're just branded differently. The biggest difference between the Amazfit Band 5 and the others is that this has Alexa built in. So let's get to it. So you take the box and you pull this little tab here and pull it back. And when you do that, you'll end up pulling this out. You'll end up with the band. And the only thing that's useful in here in the package is the charger. In here is a little manual that's garbage, so just ignore that. The very first thing you want to do before you do anything else is take this cable, plug it into a wall outlet, any sort of charger at all, or even into your computer, which is what I'm doing, and plug it into charge. And in a few minutes it'll have enough charge for you to set it up. The way you power it up is, you can't see it here, but there's a little symbol at the bottom. You just press and hold for a few seconds, it will turn on. It will go to, in my case, English, because that's the part of the world I'm in. I click next, and it says pair first. Okay, what that means is, don't pair it directly with your phone. What it means is pair it with the app. So if you go right into Bluetooth, it won't work. What you need to do is go to your store. So in my case, I'm running an Android, so I'm going to the Google, well, in my case, the Google Play Store. And what you want to search for is Zepp, Z-E-P-P. You could also put in Amazfit, because it is for the Band 5, but they've renamed it. So complete that and install it. It only takes a moment. As soon as the install is done, click Open. And it will ask you to create an account. So click Create Account Now. I already have one, so I'm simply going to enter it now. Now, when you're setting this up, it's going to ask you for your age and your sex and your height, and that's the type of information, and it's actually quite important for a health tracker to have that. So the question then gets down to, can you trust the company? This company is listed on the New York Stock Exchange. While it is a Chinese company, I believe that at least for now you can trust them with that data. It's probably data that you can get from somewhere else, including just looking at a picture of you on your Facebook, so I wouldn't be too concerned with it. By the way, I never put my real data into these things, just put a date that's close. So if your birthday was February 7th, I might put February 1st. Okay, now this is going to ask you for access to things. Select Allow on everything. You know, it's really going to need access to your camera if you want to use it for your camera, things like that. Now in this point it says, no paired devices, tap to pair. So guess what you do? You click Tap to Pair. You select Band, and it tells you that it's going to use location services. That's just fine. You allow only while using the app. Then you take your band, you click Next on it after you've selected your language, and it comes up with Pair First. Now, I've noticed that this sometimes takes a few seconds, and sometimes I've had to do it more than once. So just to do the initial setup, to get that initial pairing done. Okay, great. Now, in my case, it's restoring band settings because I wiped all of this back to factory, but of course, it's done in the cloud, so it remembers it all. Don't worry about that because we're going to ignore all the settings. We're going to go through them all from scratch. Okay, so it's taken the time from your phone, and at this point, it's probably doing an update because that's what it's going to do first. And you want to let that finish. Just to play around, swipe up and down for features. You can also swipe left and right for shortcuts. Let's go through the app. So let's click back here to get you oriented. Okay, so this is back on the home screen. Where we were a moment ago was in profile in our Amazfit Band 5. That's the home page. I just walked 4.5 kilometers, blah, blah, blah. Yours will all have zeros here. Okay, now all of this is customizable and you can play with that, but I want to get you set up as fast as we can here. So let's go to profile. You'll see your Amazfit is there. And if you want to use your Amazon Alexa account with this, you need to go to Add Accounts, and you need to go to Amazon Alexa, and you need to agree, log in with Amazon. All right, so I've got that done, and now it's asking if Zepp can use my contacts. I'll say yes. It can manage my phone calls. It can manage my call logs. Yes. It can get my physical activity. All right. Now, just take note that I have enormous trouble getting through Amazon's CAPTCHAs on this. It took me like 10 minutes. Well, exaggerate. It took me like 5 minutes to get through that. That's probably the only account most people want to use. Next thing to do is click on the Amazfit Band 5 Let's roll through a couple of quick things. I do want my incoming calls. So it says D&D permission required. That's correct. So click on D&D. I'll go to settings, scroll all the way down to ZEP. There it is. And say allow on do not disturb. There we are. And all that's saying is, look, when your phone's on do not disturb, can the watch still tie into it? Yes, of course it can. If you want your phone alert to come through on your band, that's how you do it. Let's scroll down, select more so we can see everything. I do want the idle alert. I actually really like this. So between 10 a.m. and 4 p.m., about every hour or so, it is going to send me a little vibration saying, dude, you've been sitting around, you need to get off your butt and do something. Incoming SMS, yes, I want that turned on as well. And I need to, again, go into access here and allow it. There it is. Scroll all the way down to ZEP and allow. There we go. And now when I get a text, the actual text message will show up on my band. Now, I can't reply to it on the band. It doesn't even mark it as read, but at least I can see it on the band, and that's useful. Band location, I have it on my left wrist. That needs to be set properly because you probably are going to want to set lift wrist to view info. Now, this is off by default, at least in some versions of the software, so you may have to turn it on. And if you do, I highly suggest you set scheduled. And scheduled is what time of the day do you want this to happen? Specifically, when don't you want this to happen is really more the question. So for me, from about, 8 a.m., let's go with 9 a.m. to about 10 p.m., let's go with 11 p.m. because I don't go to bed until 1 o'clock in the morning. When I lift my wrist, I want that thing to turn on. And when I am sleeping, because I'm a roller, I want to be able to lift this up and move around and have it not turn on. So that's why I suggest scheduled. Health monitoring. Go into here. Now this for me is important. I want automatic health monitoring. I want it to check me all the time. I want it to check my heart rate and my blood oxygen. I don't actually want an alert, but if you wanted an alert, you could click on heart rate alert. Activity detection doesn't work very well. You can fill this out if you want, but what it does is if it detects that you're swimming, it will turn this into monitoring your swimming, tell you how many strokes and so on and so forth. I would turn that on, but don't be stressed out about it. If you go for a walk, for instance, it'll take about 500 steps for it to realize, well, not to realize, but to accept that you're actually in an activity before it turns into activity mode. And it doesn't make any difference because it's going to count your steps regardless. All-day stress monitoring. Yes, I want that on. Night mode, I just leave that off, again, because I've set the lift wrist to view, which is this motion, and you can see it just turned on, just from doing that motion. So right now it's off, and lift, and turn, and there it's on. So I've set that from 9 a.m. to 11, so I don't need to have a night mode, but you can turn that on if you want. Shortcut settings. These are the items that are on the left and right when you swipe left and right. So that's Alexa for me. And you can see that I've got, these are what I have set up. Alexa notifications. If I wanted to have the weather, so when I swiped right or left, weather would be there. All I would do is click the plus and move that up. I can also change the order of it by grabbing that and moving it around. However, I don't want the weather there, so I'm going to remove it. Display settings. This is the up and down shortcuts. So up and down. Get the idea? So if there's something here you don't want, say you don't ever want to have breathing. Well, of course that would be bad. But if you don't want breathing to show up in the list, just click on that bar and drag it down to hidden items. And boom, it's gone. So you can see I've turned a few things off. Okay, now make sure you click save at the top when you're done. There we go. Now, breathing is no longer here when I go through this. Workouts, events, blood oxygen, heart rate, pi. That's it. All right, let's go back. The vibration settings. You can't make this stronger. You can change the pattern that they're in, but you can't make it stronger, which is a bit of a frustration. I would like it to be better. Weather settings. So I would also go into your weather settings, and I would set it to automatic. The next is to go to the enjoy at the bottom and take a look at these settings. There's probably nothing you want to do here. We've already gone through them, but you might want to look at it. And the next is home page. Now with the device, there's only 3 or 4 things you probably want to change. Swipe down, go to more. These are all of the apps that it has: stopwatch, timer, find device, blah, blah, blah. Lovely. What you probably want to do is go to band display, and you may want to change that. So there's 2 of them that are built in. If you want more, you can get them from here by going to there and to the store, and that's where all of the bands are. Okay, so that's what I want. I've got the weather, I've got my steps, and I've got the time and the date. Now, there's more to change here. Just swipe down, go to more, go all the way to the bottom, click on settings, and you're going to want to make this brighter. So click on brighter. There it is. I find it quite dim on the default setting. You can turn it all the way to the most bright, and you can see that's quite a difference. I'll put mine down 1 notch, but many people will want to leave it up. Another setting that many people want to change is the auto screen off. Click on here. I like setting this to 8 seconds. And it says, you know, the longer you leave it on, the longer the shorter the battery life. Yeah, got it. No problem. And that's it. You're now set up. Just take this off, put it on your wrist, and you're good to go. All right, if you have any questions or concerns, please get a hold of us at www.urtech.ca.